Module 3 will focus on how to use the KDS online gradebook to submit participant feedback and grades. After completing this module, online coaches will be able to 1. Employ all required steps to accurately record participant grades. 2. Score and rate participant work, referencing the appropriate rubric at all times. 3. Write feedback highly aligned to the rubric and consistently including constructive comments. As you complete this module, consider the following questions. Why is it important to follow the steps for grading with fidelity? Why is it so important to provide feedback highly aligned to the grading rubrics? Why is it important to provide a balance of positive and constructive comments? What is the best approach to take when providing feedback to adult learners? In this section, I will demonstrate how to access and use the KDS gradebook. First, log in. Next, go to Administration Tools, and then go to the gradebook. Select the district, in this instance Arlington, and the course, and the relevant coach's classroom, then click on Unit Progress. When you enter the gradebook, you will see the names of all participants in the classroom. Scroll down to see the full list of participants in your classroom. Each box, when you hover over it, explains what section of the gradebook, or course rather, that participant has completed. Completed activities are in dark green. Light green are activities or units that are in progress. Items in yellow signify items for which the coach needs to grade. So for example, this shows that in Unit 1, for Donald, participant Donald, there is an activity to be graded. So you click on the box, and you'll see that Key Reflection 1 needs to be graded for Donald. You can access his work by clicking on that hyperlink. When you go into the gradebook, you will see the original reflection question. You will see Donald's response, and you would provide your feedback here. Alternatively, you can access work that needs to be graded by clicking on this button. This is work for Donald. You can see from the bars how much progress he's made on the various activities. As you can see, he's not yet submitted his mid-course project or his final capstone project. You can access all of his key reflections together right here, and you can see he's completed Key Reflection 1 and 2. If you click on Key Reflection 1, you'll have the opportunity to provide him with feedback. Once you provide Donald with feedback in this box, you enter the grade that he received, and you click Save. Then you go back to Grade Group, and you can grade his Key Reflection 2. Same process. checks for understanding are multiple choice questions or quizzes that the participants complete. These are system graded, so they receive instant feedback. As you can see, Donald has received 100% so far on his checks for understanding. Online coaches, when they enter the gradebook, should strive to provide feedback and grade any work that is in yellow. The expectation is that online coaches will complete grading key reflections within 1 week of submission. You can see the submission dates by going in and checking up top. So this is February 4th. Online coaches will provide feedback to participants' responses for the key reflection questions. Your feedback should be 1, constructive, 2, specific, 3, encouraging, and 4, refer back to the rubric in question so it is crystal clear to participants why they received the score that they did. And if they receive a score less than a 4, what they missed doing in their response. Use and refer to the reflection rubric shown below to determine the appropriate grade. Remind participants to refer to the reflection rubric at the end of your feedback as appropriate. Follow the following format as much as possible. First, provide a positive comment, then constructive criticism, followed by a positive comment and/or specific feedback for growth. Here is the reflection feedback checklist. When providing reflection feedback, utilize this checklist. Ensure there are no grammatical errors, spelling errors, or typos. Basically, you should proofread. Make sure your sentences are clear, direct, and concise. Greet the participant, ideally by name. Utilize a compliment sandwich. Wrap up when possible with a personalized comment, such as "I look forward to hearing more from you," "It's wonderful to see your commitment to your students." Your feedback, you can continue to read this checklist for more tips. Here is a sample learner response to a key reflection question. My mission as an educator is to ensure that all students learn at high levels. My current assessment strategies attempt to address the need for regular feedback from my students so that I can address their needs better through my adjusted teaching. The facilitator's comments is included below. Lori, I like the way your mission connects to the philosophies of the PRTI course. It's not clear from your response, though, how your current assessment strategies connect with your mission. How will you know that your students are learning at high levels? It would be helpful to provide examples of this, as it's clear that you're attempting to adjust your teaching based on your students' needs. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions or concerns you may have. I am impressed with your goal of ensuring that all students are provided instruction that allows them to learn at high levels. Grade of 3. And the coach also suggested that the learner refer to the reflection rubric. This is the reflection rubric. Please read through the reflection rubric carefully. That is given to you in the manual. Next, you will complete the key reflection feedback activity. You will use your eClassroom login credentials to enter the model gradebook. You will read through the online coach's feedback and grading of participant key reflection responses. Describe how the online coach's feedback aligns to the key reflection feedback checklist. Click on the hyperlink right now to access that file. Be specific. Email your training instructor your observations. He or she will provide feedback to you within 48 hours. For this second activity, you will use your eClassroom login credentials to enter the demo gradebook this time. You will provide feedback to and grade the key reflection responses that are in yellow. This is your opportunity to practice this skill. Email your training instructor when you have completed making posts. He or she will provide you with feedback within 48 hours. I will now demonstrate how to grade mid-course and final projects. When grading mid-course projects or final projects, the process is the same. Here we are in a gradebook where participants have completed, or many of the participants have completed, most of the course. As you can see here, this participant has all boxes dark green. This signifies that the online coach has provided feedback on all activities, and of course that the participant has completed all activities. The online coach only needs to submit the final grade. That's why it says submitted. For this participant, the online coach has graded all activities and the participant received an A. For this participant, you can hover over this yellow box and you can see that the online coach needs to grade the mid-course project. So we will go in and click and see how that's done. Next, you click mid-course project again, that hyperlink. And here, where it says activity resources, you can download the original assignment. Most online coaches are familiar with the assignment in advance of grading the coursework, so this step is usually not necessary. But if you ever would like to easily check what the actual assignment was, you can click on the assignment and very easily and quickly download the assignment for that course. And this is the assignment that the participant responded to. This is the rubric that the participant received and for which the online coach will use to provide a grade. Next, you have the learner's submission. You can download the learner's mid-course project by clicking on it right there. When KDS online coaches provide feedback, they read through the assignment and they make margin comments initially using the tool in Microsoft Word. So they click on comments and they determine what sections of the paper they would like to comment on, provide feedback to the participant. Online coaches usually provide several margin comments along the way. Once the online coach has provided feedback, they save the file on their desktop and they upload the graded file into the eClassroom by using that tool. Once that is done, the participant can access that graded file. Next, the coach puts the grade in and clicks Save. Then they go back to the grade group and provide the rubric score that the participant received for the mid-course project and click Save. Finally, the online coach would select the appropriate rubric score for that mid-course project. Right now, I will show an example of what a graded paper looks like once the online coach has uploaded that paper. So here we see facilitator graded file. And this is what the participant sees once the paper receives feedback. So as you can see, Coach Kelly provided feedback in the margins in these various areas. And there are multiple margin comments. These margin comments are to be aligned to the rubric. We will go over the checklist that provides guidance. So the first paper that the online coach uploads shows the margin comments along the way. Then the second file that the online coach uploads is the actual rubric itself. We will check another one. Once you have made assignment rubric-based margin comments, you can begin highlighting the rubric in a separate document to reflect the participant's mark for each section of the rubric. Copy and paste the project rubric into the grading rubric template to indicate how the participant performed on each section of the assignment. Insert the corresponding score in the score column. Participants may receive scores in decimals, for example 0.5, to reflect their attainment of different levels within each category. So here's a sample mid-course project rubric. This participant received a 4 on the Reflect on Practice section. So the coach highlighted the 4 criteria for that section and inserted a score of 4 in the scoring column. Next, the participant received a 3.5 for the next criteria, identifies attributes and mindsets. So the coach highlighted that section of the rubric for which the coach felt the participant received a 3 and then a 4 for the section that the participant responded more strongly. And then she got a 3.5. For the next section, a 4. And then the coach averages out the score to get the final score. If participants upload their mid-course project or final capstone as a PDF file, you can respond in the same way. Now, to calculate this total score on the rubric, you right-click to highlight the total score field, because the rubrics have an automatic scoring column. This will automatically generate the final score. In this case, it's a 3.13. Then you use the grade key to determine the participant's grade. In this case, the participant received a 3.13, which falls within the B range, as you can see here. So the participant receives a B for that project. Now, the expectations for grading assessments are as follows. The purpose of feedback on the mid-course project and final capstone project. It should be rubric-driven, constructive. Feedback should extend learning. It should be positive and supportive. Margin comments. Note, by reading the margin comments, learners should have a reasonable understanding of how well they performed on the assignment. So margin comments should be related to the rubric. You can say why the participant did a great job on a portion of the assignment and why. You can explain that the participant has neglected to include a section of the assignment. You could say how something they did could be improved and exactly how. You can ask clarifying questions, including context. The comments should be related to the course content. You can explain how they provided a good application of the content, a poor application of the course content, or perhaps a lack of application of the course content. You can include personal comments and extensions, comments related to the grader's experience, your experience as a grader. You can include additional resources to extend their learning, so perhaps websites, books, or articles they could reference. You can ask them questions or make comments related to their application of practice. At the end of the rubric, there's a section to give qualitative feedback. This should be formatted as a compliment sandwich. Start off by addressing the participant by name to really personalize that feedback. Begin with a positive comment. Highlight areas for improvement or problems the participant needs to address to support further coursework. Finish with a positive comment and end with a wrap-up statement, such as I look forward to your final, good luck with your continued practice. After you provided feedback, please make sure to review your work. Proofread your comments, check to see if margin comments are balanced, positive, and constructive, because with adult learners, it's really important, really with all learners, but really important to have that balance. Check that you've correctly highlighted the assignment, ascribe the correct numerical score for each rubric category, and check grade given for accuracy. Once you do that, you upload your graded files into the e-classroom as demonstrated earlier. If a participant earns an F on any assignment, please ask him or her to revise the assessment. Let them know that would be a mandatory step in order for them to receive course credit. You will use your eClassroom login credentials to enter the model gradebook. You will read through the online coach's feedback and grading of participant mid-course projects or final capstone projects. First, describe how the online coach's feedback aligns to the assessment and expectations checklist. You can click on the hyperlink to access it. Be specific. Note your observations in a Microsoft Word file and email to your training instructor. He or she will provide you with feedback within 48 hours. For this next activity, you will use your eClassroom login credentials to enter the demo gradebook. You will provide feedback this time and grade the mid-course projects and final capstone projects that are in yellow in that specific gradebook. This is your opportunity to practice. Email your training instructor when you have completed grading. He or she will provide you with feedback within 48 hours. Feel free to reach out to the instructor with any questions. Also, you can reference the Online Coaches Training Manual for additional support.